Very good morning to all the students of class first to see. Yes, beta, we have started this chapter, Should Wizard Hit Mommy? And we discussed in detail the introduction and all, but some students were absent yesterday. So I'm going to give a bit of, you can say, brief introduction once again, and then we will continue. Fine. So characters of this chapter, firstly, Jack is the protagonist, fine, as well as Joe is also. Jack is father of this 4-year-old daughter. 4-year-old girl. So Jo or Joanne is her full name, but we are using the word Jo, nickname for her. So Jo is 4-year-old girl and Jack is father of Jo. Then we have Claire. Claire is wife of Jack and Bobby is 2-year-old son of Jack and Claire. Okay. So Jo का जो brother है वो है Bobby, 2-year-old boy. Clear? Bobby has no role or Claire also a particularly active role. But yes, Jack and Jo, they are the active characters of the story. Okay. So then we have story within the story. जो father है Jack, he keeps on narrating some stories to his 4-year-old daughter while afternoon naps. Fine, while time of making her asleep, he narrates stories, and basically it is the same story on daily basis. Clear? And one character he chooses, the name of that character he keeps Roger. But animal or creature he changes every day. So sometimes it is Roger skunk, it is Roger means they have mentioned 2-3 animals in this chapter that fine means this name remains the same, but animal keeps on changes. But this time which we are going to read is about Roger skunk. So skunk is an animal. It is a cat sized mammal. I showed you yesterday only. You can also search on Google. So it is bigger than squirrel but smaller than cat. Fine. So it is quite big in size. Fine. So this is a skunk, and it is known for that foul smell. It is stinky. It is known for, every creature has some of the traits, bad or good. Fine. So this is one of the features, you can say, that this animal has a stinky smell. So this time story is about Roger skunk, and storyline remains the same. So father Jack narrates this story that there is one character, Roger skunk, who has one or the other problems. Fine. And this time the problem is that it smells so bad. And then it goes to wise owl in the forest to seek advice. What should I do? Nobody plays with me. And then means by narrating the story, actually Jack is trying to imbibe some values in his daughter. This is the basic thing what we do, right? While teaching our children, we narrate stories and we try to imbibe values in them. Then Roger skunk has problem and he goes to wise owl to seek advice, and wise owl further advises him to go to a wizard. Wizard is a person who has magical powers. Okay, जैसे विच होती है, विजर्ड्स होते हैं, मैजिक होता है उनको, ठीक है. So wise owl suggests Roger skunk that you should go to wizard, that he will help you in solving your problem. He will change your foul smell. So he goes to wizard. Every time Roger character goes to wizard, wizard asks for money, fine, amount or pennies. Then he and always Roger is short of money. He will be having money but not appropriate as wizard asked for. Fine. So wizard, after fulfilling his wish, he will ask that you also bring me some more money. From this place you will get it. So wizard also suggests the place from where Roger can get rest of the amount. Fine. And after that, Roger's problem is solved and Roger comes back home to his mother, Roger skunk's mommy. Fine. So Roger comes back to his mommy because his father was about to arrive from Boston in the train, and they wanted to relish the dinner together, and after that they sleep. Fine. So this is the storyline. Every day, every time, you can say whenever he is putting his daughter to sleep during afternoon naps, especially on Saturdays and Sundays, so he narrates this story. Is it clear to you all? Beta, किसी को कोई doubt तो नहीं है, because a lot of characters are there. That's why. Please keep on sending me feedback. I'm looking at who's putting up thumbs up over there. जल्दी से. इतना सबको clear है? Fine. So then what is the theme of this chapter? Now, the should wizard hit mommy? It is a question marks. You can see I have put up over there. Now the story is like, he will be actually, while narrating the story, Jack is narrating the real life incident of his life. So when Jack was a student, when Jack was small, he had, that discrimination as a child. Nobody would play with him. Maybe some other reason, some physical features, or he did not look nice at that time. And actually, he's narrating his own, you can say he's giving vent to his own feelings in the form of the story. Fine. And he will definitely narrate or end the story in which is morally good. But sometimes, because when Joe was 2 year old or 3 year old, she would, accept everything. But now she's 4 year old. She has started, she has her own IQ level. She has her own queries. She's inquisitive. She's asking more and more questions to her father about, she's not accepting. Sometimes a father tells her the fact, she goes to mother and confirms. Whenever her mother Claire tells her something factual, she asks her father and confirms. So she has become smarter than earlier, being 4 year old. So she, at the end, she wants that wizard should hit mommy. This is, she wants to change the end this time. Every time, same ending of the story is there. But this time she wants a bit of change. But father is not ready to accept because that is morally not sound. Now the question is left to the readers, to all of us. This should wizard hit mommy? It means that should adults teach children what to do, or let them create their own thought process? Two things are there. One way that we should teach everything. This is what should one should do. This is one should behave. Or this is like killing the creativity of the child when we are, mugging up the information in their mind. The second thing is, let them create their own world. Let them have their own imagination. Maybe our imagination cannot match up theirs. It is not always same. So this is the open-ended chapter, open-ended question to you, that what should we do? Clear? And second is innocent world of children versus adult perspective. Adults can, they always try to be sweet. Adults always try to be morally and socially good. But that's why children are children. They never, like to follow the norms. They are always against what is socially acceptable. So this is what the theme of Should Wizard Hit Mommy. I hope it is clear to you all. I'm going to share the screen with you. Yes, beta, jaldi se bataiye. Clear है? कोई doubt तो नहीं है? Because you won't be able to understand. ठीक है? अनमोल, आपने अपना टेस्ट नहीं भेजा है ना? Okay, Anmol sent me the message, I guess. Anshul, Jagraj, सृष्टि, and जिन्होंने अभी बाद में ज्वाइन किया है, there are Chandan, fine, many students, Ansh Kataria. You people will repent it later on. You are not taking your test seriously. So this is the last time I'm asking you. Otherwise, no more requests, will be made by the teachers to you that send your test and all. It is compulsory to send the test. It is part and parcel of your, you can say, assessment. So please take it very seriously. Let's continue. So we have read so far. Find that story of Red Roger Skunk. He's very stinky and all the animals run away. So he goes to Mr. Owl. Mr. Owl, Roger Skunk said, all the other little animals run away from me because I smell so bad. So you do? The owl said, very, very bad. What can I do? Roger Skunk said. And he cried very hard. So actually, Jack is, narrating his own personal life experience. I told you already that how he had failed discrimination as a child. So that's why he's saying cried very hard. Roger started crying, yet that I smell so bad. Owl, what should I do? Now, in between, Joe, that 4-year-old daughter, she's intervening in the story. जैसे उसका father narrate कर रहा है, वो बीच-बीच में बोल रही है. Why? Because she knows that now next character will be wizard. So she says, the wizard, the wizard. Joe shouted and sat right up. Rather than sleeping, she sits up and becomes more excited, and little golden book spilled from the bed. Now, Joe, daddy is telling the story. Now, do you want to tell daddy or not? No, you, me. Then lie down and be sleepy. Side by side, Jack is also worried about his wife, Claire, who's working all alone downstairs, painting in that room. And she's also expecting the third child. And he thought that she's not sleeping, that then how will I go downstairs and help my wife? So that's why he scolds his daughter to sleep. Her head relapsed onto the pillow and she said, okay, then she again lies on the pillow and she is out of your head. Well, the owl thought and thought, and last he said, why don't you go to see the wizard? Now, see, otherwise, Joe would accept what daddy would tell her. But this time, she's going to pose a question. See, daddy, what? Are magic spells real? This सच में magic होता है? This was a new phase just this last month, a reality phase. So this reality phase has entered into the life of this little girl. Now she has started realizing कि सब कुछ सही नहीं होता है. You know, when he told her spiders eat bugs, she turned to her mother and asked, do they really? And when Claire told her, that God was in the sky and all around them, she turned to her father and insisted with a sly yet eager smile, is he really? Means whatever mother told Joe, she confirms from father, and whatever father tells Joe, she confirms from mother. So that means she has now become more aware about getting to know the reality, facts, okay? They are real in story. See the smart answer given by Jack. He says, yes, they are real, but in stories. Jack answered curtly. She had made him miss a beat in the narrative. The owl said. So story बीच में उसकी टूट गई. Now he again continued. The owl said, go through the dark woods under the apple trees into the swamp over the creek. Again, Joe interrupts in between. What's a creek? A little river, he answers. As you can see on the screen, beta. Fine. So father is narrating and continuing the story of Wizard and Roger Skunk. And that's the way Roger Skunk went. And pretty soon he came to a little white house and he rapped on the door. Jack rapped on the windowsill, and under the covers, Joe's tall figure clenched in an infantile thrill. So, the way Jack is narrating the story and reaction is coming out of that little girl, she's also, her body language is changing, the way she's, reacting to the story. And then a tiny little old man came out with a long white beard. This is better the character sketch of Wizard. A pointed blue hat and said, what's this? What do you want? What you want mean, what do you want? You smell awful. The wizard's voice was one of Jack's own favorite effects. He did it by scrunching up his face, somehow whining through his eyes, which felt for the interval roomy. He felt being an old man suited him. So while playing the character of this wizard, you can see long beard and wearing blue hat. So Jack would, squint his eyes and change his voice, and then he would play the role, one of his favorite role of wizard. And wizard, Roger Skunk अब पहुंच गया जी wizard के पास, magician के पास. What will happen now? Let's see. All the little animals run away from me. The enormous wise owl said, you could help me. Well, baby, come on in. Don't get too close. Now, inside Joe, there were all these magic things, all jumbled together in a big dusty heap. Because the wizard did not have any cleaning lady. Why? Why? Because he was a wizard and a very old man. Now, see. अब बीच-बीच में उसके questions आ रहे हैं Joe के. And all the little animals run away from me. The enormous wise owl said, you could help me. So when Roger Skunk told wizard that, सारे animals मेरे से भाग जाते हैं because I'm stinky, I smell so bad. So big owl, wise owl advised me कि मेरे को wizard के पास जाना चाहिए. So wizard को भी smell आ रही होती है Roger Skunk से. वो कहते don't get too close, stay away. And Joe के Joe was also thinking at the same time about wizard did not have, wizard did not have any cleaning lady. Why? Because he was a wizard. So she kept on asking questions in between कि why उसके पास cleaning lady क्यों नहीं है? Then he answers because he was a wizard. He was very old. Then again, Joe asked, will he die अगर वो old है तो? No, wizards don't die. He rummaged around and found an old stick called a magic wand. then asked Roger skunk what he wanted to smell like. So वो continue कर रहा है story साथ साथ में Jack. दो question answers, he is also giving answers to Joe's questions in between. Wizard क्या करेगा? Wizard has taken a wand and he asked Roger skunk, which smell do you want? Roses was the answer. So roses, because roses, smell sweet. Roses smell one of the best, you can say, smells of fragrance of all the flowers. So then that's why Roger Skunk chose roses. Yes, good. Joe said smugly. So Joe is also, giving her consent to what father is telling. Jack fixed her with a trance-like gaze and chanted in the wizard's elderly, irritable voice. Abracadabra, hocus poo, Roger skunk, how do you do? Roses, boses, pull and ear. Roger skunk, you never fear. Bingo. So this is one of the funny part of this, you can say, life of kids, you tell them, they believe it. You tell them that this magic I'm going to do, and they will still believe you because they're innocent. So this is the one part, wizard jo apni wand घुमा रहा है and Jack usko explain कर रहा है. Fine. So this is the mantra he enchanted, and he pauses as a rapt expression widened out from his daughter's nostrils. साथ साथ में जो के expression देखने वाले हैं. She's so excited, widening her nostrils and looking at her father's face, eyebrows up and lower lip down in the wide, noiseless grin, an expression in which Jack was startled to recognize his wife, feeling pleasure at cocktail parties. So suddenly, Jack is looking that her daughter looks like his wife also. तो कहते हैं कैसे के expression दे रही है that she has started looking at that she's exactly looking like her mother. All of a sudden, he whispered, the whole inside of the wizard's house was full of smell of roses. Roses. Roger Fish cried. And the wizard said, very cranky, that will be 7 pennies. See, every time father changes the character, कभी वो Roger Fish है, कभी वो Roger Skunk है, वैसे इस time वो Roger Skunk की story सुना रहा है, and by mistake he says Roger Fish. Now children are smarter, they catch your mistakes first. वो कहती है, Daddy, what? Roger Skunk. You said Roger Fish. What does it show? It shows that she was very alert. Yes, Skunk. You said Roger Fish. Wasn't that silly? Very silly of your stupid old daddy. Where was I? Well, you know about the pennies. So how many pennies? बेटा ये क्वेश्चन सारे मैंने आपसे पूछ रहे. How many pennies he asked for? Wizard asked to Roger Skunk. 7 pennies. So please make sure you know answers. I'm going to ask you soon. You said, then after that, say it. Okay, Roger said. Roger Skunk said, but all I have is 4 pennies. All the time, पैसे कम होंगे उसके पास और wizard बोलेगा, go there and find out the money. But all I have is 4 pennies, and he began to cry. Joe made the crying face again. जैसे जैसे expression दे रही है जो साथ साथ में story के. But this time, without a trace of sincerity, this annoyed Jack. Downstairs, some more furniture rumbled. Claire shouldn't move heavy things. She was 6 months pregnant. It would be their third. Third means third child. So जैसे इतना time लग रहा है उसको अपनी बेटी को सुलाने में, and she is not at all sleepy. And then he again heard the voice of moving furniture because his wife was all alone, painting the furniture, and she was also expecting third child. So वो सोचता है कि she should not, drag heavier objects all alone. She is also in need of my help. What does this suggest, beta? This, आपके लिए छोटी सी line होगी, but actually this is again one of the themes. Sometimes, marital responsibilities as a father's responsibility towards children and as well as towards wife. So he is, stuck in between. Similarly, mothers also sometimes get stuck between responsibility towards their children and family and so on. So ये एक सब theme बन जाता है chapter का. Clear? So the wizard said, oh, very well. Go to the end of the lane and turn around 3 times and look down the magic well, and there you will find 3 pennies. Fine. So जैसे wizard उसको जगह बताता था हर time, this time also he told where to go. Hurry up. Roger Skunk went to the end of the lane, turned around 3 times, and there in the magic well, were 3 pennies. So he took them back to Wizard and was very happy and ran out into the woods, and all the other little animals gathered around him because he smelled so good. And they played tag, baseball, football, basketball, lacrosse, hockey, soccer, pickup sticks. What's pickup sticks? I will continue with it. But firstly, before you tell me now, this is the question for you all. Father ने उसको एक story सुनाई जिसमें एक creature bad smell करता था. Nobody was ready to play with him, and then when his smell changed to roses, then everybody became his friend. Do you think what father narrated is a right thing? क्या father ने right चीज सिखाई है अपनी बच्ची को by making this change of smell, by making this change in the trait? Anybody please raise your hand, otherwise I will ask you to. Do you think that Jack is right here by narrating the story of Roger Skunk? Has he imbibed some value? What he's trying to do? Yes, Samyak, class में बोलते हो बहुत, अब बोलो जरा. Tell me if you are listening, otherwise absent हो. Samyak Jain, do you think Jack has taught the right thing? No response means absent. Vanshika, yes beta, you tell me. Jaldi se. Those who don't want to speak can type in the chat box also. Yes or no? So busy you people are. Yes. Srishti, if you have listened to the story, only then you can unmute and speak. जो सुन ही नहीं रहे हैं वो कहाँ से आंसर देंगे? See how casual attitude it is. How casual. That's why I never ask your class to unmute. Yes or no, type in the chat box. Five minutes रह गए. I need to discuss this thing with you all. जल्दी से keep sending your responses. See, actually, he has taught a thing that, you know, when you are good enough, people will love you, and when any bad trait is there in you, people will hate you. So अपनी तरफ से उसने एक अच्छी चीज सिखाई है, but it can go wrong way to the mind of innocent mind of a child also. Fine, and it will is like that if somebody is imperfect, if somebody is not looking good in the society, the person has some bad physical trait, he will not be acceptable. But if you look beautiful, you do not have bad traits, then people, you know, will love you. So this is what he's in a wrong way something is taught, though he's trying to inculcate good values, but sometimes we also become, being adults also, we become so particular, so casual about imbibing the values. Fine. So Roger Skunk, after getting the roses smell, became so many friends. He played so many games with all the animals in the forest. And what's pickup sticks? Then Joe asked her father, what do you mean by pickup sticks? It's a game you play with sticks, like the wizard's magic wand, kind of. And they played games and laughed all afternoon. And then it began to get dark and they all ran home to their mommies. Jo was starting to fuss with her hands, look out of the window, and at the crack of the day that showed under the shade, she thought the story was all over. Jack did not like women when they took anything for granted. He liked them apprehensive, hanging on his words. Now, Joe, are you listening? So Joe is not showing interest She's thinking that story is about to end, and father didn't like it. Ki why she's showing this behavior? Yes, I'm listening because this is very interesting. Roger Skunk's mommy said, "What's that awful smell?" What? And Roger Skunk said, "It's me, mommy. I smell like roses." And she said, "Who made you smell like that?" And he said, "The wizard." And she said, "Well, of all the nerve, you come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard." So जब वो रॉजर, अभी स्टोरी फिनिश नहीं हुई है, प्लीज मेक श्योर. सो जब वो रॉजर स्कंक न्यू स्मेल लेके रोजेस वाली घर आता है, and mommy of Roger Skunk, that new character, comes in. Mommy asked Roger that what a bad smell it is. वो roses की smell को bad कह रही है because she knows her son has stinky smell वाला Roger Skunk. So she asked, how, who has given you this smell? He told that wizard. She said कि चलिए, let's go back to that wizard. Joe sat up, her hands dabbling in the air with genuine fright. "But daddy," then he said about the other little animals run away. Her hands skittered off into the underbrush. "All right, but mommy, all other little animals run away." "I don't care. You smelled the way a little skunk should have." So उसकी मम्मा उसको बताती है रॉजर स्कंक को कि रॉजर स्कंक की स्मेल ऐसे ही होती है. Skunks smell badly only. You should accept the way you are. "No," Joe said, and put her hand out to touch his lips. Even in her agitation, did not quite dare to stop. The source of truth inspiration came to her. Then wizard hit her on the head and did not change the little skunk back. Now this is the beta title of the chapter, should wizard hit mommy? यहाँ पे आने वाला है. Now, Jack, wants to preach moral values to his daughter. पहले उसने change करवाया foul smell को roses वाला. So now he is trying to teach this thing to his daughter, that जो आपकी reality होती है, that should be there. We should not change it. For the sake of getting more friends, we should remain same. Whosoever comes to you, it's okay. But daughter is too young to understand that. वो कहती है कि no, Roger Skunk will smell like roses only. He will not get his smell changed because he has so many friends now. But father is teaching that कि उसकी मदर ने उसको समझाया, रॉजर की मदर ने, that one should smell like skunks only. Skunk cannot smell like rose. One should accept it. But जो अपने father के मुंह पे हाथ रख देती है, no, you will not end the story like this. "No," he said. The wizard said, "Okay." Roger Skunk did not smell of roses anymore. He smelled very bad again. But the other little Ammon, "John, it's daddy's story. Shall daddy not tell you any more stories?" अब डैडी को गुस्सा आ रहा है कि वो मेरी स्टोरी को क्यों चेंज कर रही है. तो rather than calling her Joe, now he's calling her Joan. Fine, full name उसका. कहता है कि daddy should tell you the story. Her broad face looked at him through shifted light, astounded. This is what happened then. Fine, we will continue this tomorrow. And make sure you send the tests by all means. Fine, I have extended the time for you. Do not take it for granted. Otherwise, parents will be informed accordingly. Calls will be made to them individually. So please make sure that you do send your tests by all means. Okay? Send me your thumbs up jaldi se जिन्होंने आज टेस्ट भेजना है, जल्दी से. Let me see those who are still listening. Anmol, Vanshika, Suhani, Anushka. I'm announcing this is being recorded. See. What about others? Jaldi se. Srishti, very good. Yes, what about others? Fine. So जिन के names मैंने अभी बोले हैं, those who have, they will definitely send. What about others? That I will send you text personally. I will see to it.